Hello everybody, and we're in the process of setting up this new rack. The last video, as far as I'm filming it, is about 24 hours ago. The snowballs are looking good. I am really looking forward to getting this tank up and running. This will be a Bloody Mary shrimp tank. So the point of this rack is I have thousands and thousands of shrimp outside that I've been breeding out in my shrimp farm, and I had to get a bunch of tanks going to bring a lot of them inside. So this one will be the Bloody Mary one, and I'm really looking forward to bringing these guys in. These guys look super good, and there's lots and lots of them, but we're going to get this tank in and bring in a handful today to get this tank started and cycling. Then in a month, we'll really start bringing in loads and loads of them. So the filtration here, we just have a cheap Aqua Neat sponge filter. I zip tied it to a brick because these filters, they don't have a very good base. No matter what I do, even sitting in the tank and squeezing them for over a week, they still want to float away on me. So I zip tied it to a brick to fix that. It's just a ceramic brick, so it's not going to leach anything bad in the water to change the water parameters. And then we have a Box Tech variable control air pump. This thing is super quiet. I like it a lot. This is the second one I've had like this. Also have one in my bedroom. So, and then lights. These are 40-watt Barina is the name brand. I get them off Amazon. I get 10 packs for like $150. And so that is the lighting. So this one on the bottom is plugged in to smart plug where I set the timer. And then there's a jumper cable that goes from the bottom one to this one. And then on the other side, a jumper cable that goes from the middle one to the top one. So that's the lighting system on this. All right. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start putting some black diamond bossing sand in here. I love my Bloody Marys on black sand. So let's get some sand in here. All right. Some of you guys might remember on the last one, I pulled the tank out too far and dropped the light. And we're trying to avoid that. I think I have some here. This is a reused, rinsed out sand. This was in the Bloody Mary shrimp pond. It actually was in the same spot where this rack is, and so saved all the sand, and we're using it after rinsing it super good. I think it takes more rinsing. The sand took more rinsing than brand new sand because that had like 15 great big pluckos in there, and the pluckos make a lot of poop. So this was full of poop. And you'll still see a few snail shells in here. Alright, let's get this pushed back in place where the tank is going to live for good. Now when I did this, I purposely made the bottom and the middle rack stick out a little bit. So then you're not trying to stick your hand, you have a bigger gap. So it's sticking out a couple inches, and I designed the rack so it would do that. So because I don't want to deal with tanks up to the ceiling, I don't, but I still need room to work in there. So I think eventually we'll probably put some stem plants in here to propagate some more plants. But right now, I think it's starting as a starting setup. we're just going to put some moss. It's going to be super simple. This is shrimp farm, shrimp, breeding shrimp, shrimp for profit. Now, I'm super excited about these shrimp that are outside because the shrimp that were out there are my special project shrimp. That means shrimp I've been working on specifically, or some lines I've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years, most of them a couple years, to try to make my lines better and better while my current tanks had been keeping the same good lines I've always had, and then having project tanks where the focus is on making them better and better. So after doing it for years, I feel like some of my shrimp, my lines are way, way better. I've improved them quite a bit. So I'm super, super excited about bringing in all these shrimp from outside. So let's see, did we get it lined up pretty good? I think it might need to come this way, just in here. And I think that's pretty good. All right. So now we got to find some plants, some moss from an existing tank. And we're going to get plants from my Bloody Mary project tank because they already have super awesome Bloody Mary shrimp in there. In case one of them gets in there on accident, it's not the end of the world. It's already super good Bloody Mary shrimp. This is the Bloody Mary project tank, and as you can see, we got some algae growing on the sides of the glass, but we've got little baby shrimp, and we've got lots of really good Bloody Mary shrimp in here. So what I'm going to do, the moss looks completely algae free. This tank just has some algae on the glass. So we're going to pull out a couple handfuls here. I'd say if you got website on, or if you got moss on my website, this is probably about 5 portions of moss that I'll grab up. Maybe not quite. Maybe like 4. We'll see when we get it all out. So now I'm going to pull this moss out and we'll put it in the new tank. All right, so like I was saying, a lot of people ask me, how much moss do you get when you buy my moss? Pile of moss on my website, markshelleyproducts.com. That's one portion. Let's see. That's a second. That's roughly a third. 4, and not quite 5. So we got about 4.5 portions of moss. If you were to get it on my website, markshelleyproducts.com. I just finished packing and I sent out tons of this pile of moss today. Wow. Hey. So I think on this one, we're just gonna, you want to get it nice and spread out. This is the way I normally do it. Nice and spread out. And this will grow into a nice big mound of moss. And then I'm going to put little bits of sand to keep it from floating up, keep it from, this just, moss don't grow roots or anything, so it's not because of that. This is simply to keep it in place. This is the way I like planting it. Or I guess you don't have to do this, so you can just let it float around and do whatever it wants. But it'll anchor itself down in there. It don't have roots or anything, but it'll grow up and spread out over the moss and sink its mossy fingers into the sand eventually and grow up real nice. So we messed this up a little bit. Let's get that. All right. The next thing we will be doing is we will be adding safe. From Seachem, this is essentially the powdered form of prime. It's a lot more economical when you buy the concentrated powder version. I think I bought like 4 kilos of it for like 130, 100 something dollars. I'm not real sure, but I think you can get a kilo for about $40 or $50. And this makes my tap water safe for shrimp and fish and what have you. And if you're having a new tank or you have a tank crash and you have ammonia or nitrites, this stuff will bail you out if you dose it every 72 hours. This stuff and prime. Now, if you just have a few tanks, you're probably better off just getting prime. But this stuff and prime saved me lots and lots of times. A lot of people tell me, my shrimp are dying, my shrimp are dying. And the first thing, if it sounds like the tank isn't cycled, the first thing that I tell them to do is add safe or prime. And here we are, full of water. So now the next thing we're going to do is that same tank we got the moss out of, we're going to go grab that sponge filter and give it a good squeeze. And that'll get all the goodness out of that tank that is successful and healthy and doing good, and put it in here and give everything a nice coating of mulch and get biofilm started and bacteria, all the good stuff we need. Start a new tank. All right. Here we go. This big old filter. This filter is hard as a rock. All righty. That should be good to get this guy started. Look at it all just float around and cover everything in the tank. All right, and now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go outside and we're going to collect a handful of Bloody Marys, between 20 and 50 probably. I don't want to get too crazy in here, but well, look, I think that's a little teeny tiny baby shrimp right there. Coming from the moss or sponge squeeze. All right, so let's go find some shrimpies outside. Here is the Bloody Mary pond. And look what we have here. It is just covered in them all the way around. Try to get this to focus. I'm super, super excited about these. It's not going to take a lot. Just a scoop. We'll have all the ones we need, I reckon. Oh my gosh, they're so good. I worked a long time on these to get them even better than they already were. Look how good even the little teeny tiny ones are. Alrighty, so these are the ones we randomly scooped out. I don't really, even the young ones are super, super good. And with these Bloody Marys, the young ones get way, way better the older they get. So man, I'm so excited to pull these guys out, offer these guys on my website, markshellyaquatics.com. All right. So since these guys come outside and the water outside is indeed a little bit different. Makes sense with rain and all that good stuff. So we're going to do a drip acclimation, in case you guys are not familiar with that. Got an air stone in this tank here, that's where the shrimp will be going. And then the shrimp are in the specimen container down here. I have the valve all the way opened up. Get a siphon started. And then we dial it down to just a drip, drip, drip. That'll be good, that dripping right there. And so I'll wait until this is like most of the way full. Then we'll put them guys in their new tank. All right, drip acclimating is done. And now we're going to release our Bloody Mary shrimp from the outside into their new tank. Ooh, look at them. Come on, little babies. Come on, little babies. I think I only see one that might be, but it's still a teeny tiny baby. So I'll let them little tiny ones grow up before I think about pulling any out. And there you have it. We've got him. This little guy right. Can't find it. Right here I found something to eat from the sponge squeeze. They're all looking just fine. No one's freaking out. Everything looks pretty good. Alrighty. There's another one set up. Snowballs, Bloody Marys, and last, this will be Green Jades. Exciting times. So make sure you subscribe and check out the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.